but I spoke to the inventor, Dr. Peter Bentley, a PhD, not a medical doctor, incidentally, who joined me from the University College London.
Initially, it was like an experiment to see what kind of things you can make a device do and how many people might want it. So, to my surprise, the result of the experiment is a flood of inquiries by cardiologists who say it works really, really well.
But why is it better than the old-fashioned stethoscope?
Well, it turns out, perhaps because of economies of scale, you know, there are so many of these devices made.
Right.
The audio hardware inside them is actually superior to the audio hardware inside medical digital stethoscopes. So it turns out, and there are research papers on this works better.
This works better than the doctor will see you now.
I'm not, it doesn't work better than the traditional one, but the digital stethoscope, which is a new instrument that they're trying to sell doctors right now, actually is slightly inferior. It costs a lot more, but it's slightly inferior to this.
Wouldn't you be a little horrified if the doctor popped round and said, "Now, just a moment while I get my iPhone out, while I go..."
Well, I get emails from doctors who actually use this in their clinics. And apparently sometimes what they do is they stretch a surgical glove over the bottom to make it nice and sterile. But the response has actually been very, very good. And some of them are saying out in India and Africa and remote regions, they can now sample the heart sounds of people in these villages. They can email it to specialists in the city, and so they can get this expertise.
When we tried it earlier, I have to tell you, not being useful, look, the heart is a pretty difficult thing to find, isn't it? It's not that easy. You know, it's somewhere around here, and it might be a bit over there, but it's not just like lumping it on something.
Well, it turns out, and this is the feedback I get, I have to say, on the app stores. I either get really nice feedback saying it's brilliant, or I get really horrible feedback saying useless, fraud, because they don't know where the heart is. And it turns out doctors have to be trained to where to place it. You actually have to listen between your ribs. You have to know exactly where to listen. So it's not a random thing. You have to know exactly where to place it, as you discovered earlier when we tried it.
Yes, and sheer embarrassment forbids me from showing you me trying to find my own heart. Who's buying this app? Is it gimmicks for geeks? Is it people I just want to have a go? Or is it serious doctors saying this is a useful tool in my box?
I've got to say all of the above. You know, there's a lot of interest from the general public who just find it a fun thing to do. I have people saying we can listen to our unborn fetus, we can listen to the heart of our cat, but I also have emails from cardiologists. There's actually been research papers published using this app to gather data for their research.
And I don't want to be indelicate. Are you making a lot of money out of it?
Well, to be honest,
yes.
I wish I was making more, but it started out free and, you know, so I could have made more money. But, well, I do okay out of it.